So one of the things that Neil touched on as part of that demo that I thought was kind of interesting was the whole designer-developer workflow. And I know there's both a lot of designers and developers in the audience, and I don't know if your experience is sort of like what usually happens on my team, but typically, when we start off on a project, designer comes out with a really great design, and really, comes up with a concept and something that's going to really emotionally attach our users. We spec it all out. We put together nice comps inside design tools and create images. And then we pass it off to the developers to go ahead and actually add the interaction logic. And, it's funny because it's true. And this is the challenge that I think a lot of technologies have today, which is how do you have designers and developers work together on the same project? And as you start trying to build experiences that have more emotional attachment from the customer, it's really important that you have the best possible process to enable that. And anything you can do to kind of improve that workflow really makes a huge difference. One of the things that we're trying to do with Silverlight is to spend a lot of time focusing on that, in particular on two dimensions. At one level, what we're trying to do is make sure from a core platform perspective, we make it very easy for designers and developers to collaborate. Silverlight uses the same XAML format that we introduced as part of WPF. And specifically as part of this format, we're trying to really enable designers and to work on the UI aspect of the project and have developers work on the code completely separate and in a separate file with separate different tools. And so it basically enables you to very easily kind of work together on the same kind of runtime technology. The other thing that we're trying to do is provide great tool support that really facilitate this workflow. With Visual Studio, obviously we have a great development tool. As Ray announced in his keynote, we're also shipping today Expression Studio 1.0. And Expression Studio basically allows you to go ahead and work with Visual Studio on projects and kind of really facilitates this great designer-developer workflow. Both tools share the same project file format, and you can use both tools to target web applications, desktop applications, as well as Silverlight RIA applications. And to kind of show off some of those capabilities, I'd like to invite Wayne Smith on stage to give you a sneak peek at Expression Studio.
Thank you very much, Scott. Thank you. So my name's Wayne, designer at Microsoft. Some more designers out there? Fantastic. Hey, you are there, great. So let's have a little look. Now we've shipped Studio, and big up to all the developers who made that possible. Thanks to all the guys back in Redmond, a fantastic job. But they haven't stopped. They didn't even take a day off. They kept on working. And let's have a look at what we're going to be doing to help designers do design work for Silverlight. So I'm going to start off with just a little example. That first video you saw running, the Silverlight video, here it is, deployed to the web. Video, nice-looking video, of course, but a lovely, rich, branded experience as well, with all the sort of mixed stuff around the edges. So what I'm going to show you is show you how in Expression Studio we can actually do the design work behind what you're seeing on screen there. Now, for any kind of work involving designers with this kind of thing, it's all about the assets. They love to sort of keep control of the assets, the graphics, the videos, and all the things that goes to make up the project. And in Expression Studio, we've got a fantastic tool to help you manage the assets, which is called Expression Media. It really keeps track of that. Now, the asset I'm going to start off with, to begin with, is the video running in the middle, because the video has to be prepared for the web. So, alongside Expression Media, we've got a tool called Expression Media Encoder. So let's show you how we use that to prepare this video for the web. So here's Expression Media Encoder running now, and I've already imported in my source video. It's an AVI video. Any sort of video we accept, QuickTime's AVIs, whatever you want to use, we can bring into Media Encoder. And here it is running again, and I can sort of skip about and play about in different parts of it like so. This isn't an editing tool. This isn't an Avid or a Final Cut Pro. This is a preparation tool that goes alongside those sorts of tools. So what kind of things are we going to do here to help me prep it? Well, maybe I could trim the in point and the out point, do a few little things like that. I could maybe sort of add some markers in that I can programmatically pick up later on, throw some advertising on screen when a particular bit of the video hits, etc. But we're really talking here about the encoding, preparing it for the web. So let's go across to my settings here. And, hey, fantastic. let me show you our new fast reboot feature for Expression Media Encoder. Thank you very much. And you can actually save this job stuff in an XML file, so I can very quickly open that up and read that back in and get back to where I was to start with. OK, so all I'd done so far was to put that marker in. So let's put the marker in. And we'll come across to the settings here. And basically, I've got a large range of things I can choose from, a large range of settings from very high quality down to very low quality. But when you've chosen these quality settings, you know, how do you know what that's going to do to your precious source video? You've got no idea, really. So let's choose a really low-quality one for low-scale deployment and work out what this is going to do. I don't really want to encode the whole thing just to see what it's going to look like. So around my insertion point here, where I've got the playback head, I'm going to go into A/B compare mode, and I'm going to ask it to build a preview. That preview is building pretty quickly. You can see the green status bar. If you're running something like a Terraria card in this machine, it'll go like 15 times faster than this. So it really is very performance. And now, for each frame, I can slide backwards and forwards. Let's even zoom in a little bit onto that a little bit closer so you can see that a bit clearer. And as you can see now, you really can see the degradation in quality. And I can go to any of the sort of frames in the middle there and see how that works. In fact, let's even just play the thing. Like so, just encoding it again, and we're going to run it. And now I can even play the video and swipe backwards and forwards and really see the difference. Yeah, absolutely. Isn't that cool? Nice stuff. I can even play them side by side if I want to. So I really can see exactly what those settings are going to do. So I could just simply now encode this, press the encode button, and get it ready for the web. But of course, I like the idea of having my playback stuff around it, my play button, my pause button, all those kinds of things. So I've got some help within the tool to allow me to deploy that. Let me just pop back to my output settings here, and I'm going to choose on the outside here a template. So I've got a range of Silverlight templates built into Media Encoder, and I've chosen a clean-looking one here with just some simple buttons. And basically, I could now encode this and run it up on the web straight away. And I won't actually sort of do the encoding, because it'll take a couple of minutes to do that. I'm actually paid by the minute, so let's just slip forward and show you the final output. So this is what that video would actually look like running in that simple skin. There it is now. And down the bottom here, I've got my playback things, and I can skip forward to that marker I put in like so. OK, thank you. It's going to get better, so you know, keep cheering. Right. So that's dealt with my video. What about the graphic assets around the outside? Well, I want to work on the graphic assets in a tool called Design. So this is my tool that I can use to prepare the stuff. I can draw all the necessary assets. What I've actually done in this instance here is I've stolen some stuff from our branding site. So this is some bits and pieces we put together. There's some vector graphics, as you can see, some bitmaps, etc. And the reason I've assembled this inside of Design is because I want to take advantage of one particular feature in Design. That feature, of course, is output to XAML. Scott mentioned it earlier, this idea of taking all this design work and putting it together inside using XAML. So I'm really confident as a designer that the cool stuff I'm designing makes it through to the final cut in production. So what I want to do here is just simply take what I've created and export it to XAML like so. I've got a range of different settings I can use, and the one I'm key on today, of course, is in Silverlight format, because that's what we're talking about, designing for Silverlight here, and that's ready to go. So now I've prepared basically my video in Media Encoder, and I've prepared my design assets in Design. I just need to assemble it now to get it into one final project. And my assembly tool for all this interactive design is Blend. So Blend is now shipping, part of Expression Studio. If Scott turns his back and looks the other way, I might give you a little preview here of Blend 2. Can I do that? OK, he's giving me the nod there. So let's flip this project now in to Blend 2, a little preview we're going to show you today. And this on screen is the output from Media Encoder. That skin that I used in Media Encoder, I've imported into Blend as a project. So that's why I chose that simple clean skin, because I'm just going to repurpose this. It's all working. All the JavaScript's there to make the video playback work. It's actually already working. So what I'm going to do is just move on to that and start to design around it. So there's the existing design. Here is the XAML file that I exported from Expression Design in Blend. And I'm just going to take some of those layers that I've got there and copy them onto this shape here. I've already copied them to save time. So let's just pick them up now there. So there are all the graphic assets in layers for me to use. And that's obviously now obliterated my video screen. So let's just take a couple of those there and send those to the back, like so. So I can now see the video intermixed in with the different graphics. And I think that video is probably a little bit large for that. So let's take the video window and we'll just scale that down a little bit to something like that kind of size and use our little keys to nudge that around into place into the framing that I've created. So I'm starting here to sort of work assembling the final look and feel. The video that I had actually in the original had a sort of bit of a nice mask around it to get rid of the sort of square corners. So let's just tidy that up as well. Let's hide the foreground shapes like so. And I want to actually sort of do a little mask over there. Although my drawing is mainly done in Expression Design, you can draw in Blend as well. All the tools are there. So let's just take a simple rectangle tool for speed. And we'll just draw a rectangle on top of the video like so. And we'll just maybe, what should we do? Just round those corners off a little bit. In fact, let's convert it to a path as well. So we'll convert it to a path. Take my tool here, and we'll just drop a couple of points on and just do a little bit of this design on the fly here. Isn't it good? There we go. So now I've got my sort of little wavy path. I'm just going to take the video window there and clip the two together. Bang, and I've now got my sort of masked video in the middle there. Oh, thank you. Lovely. OK. So the last bit I want to do, remember all the sort of graphic assets popped out? They zipped up on the screen here. That's all about animation, OK? So let's just do a little tiny bit of animation to finish this off. So to do that, I'm going to change my workspace over and flip into animation mode, as you can see here. Now, animations happen on timelines. Timelines only exist in Blend where we actually need them. So let's create myself a new timeline here by pressing the plus button, and let's call it intro, because we're going to introduce the assets. And here is now my timeline. So what I can do is I can let's take the background shapes, let's take the foreground shapes and the MIX logo, and I just want to make them zoom up. So I'm going to go from sort of 0 scale to 100% really, really quickly. So let's nip over to like 1 second in time, drop in a keyframe, and come back to 0. And then on my properties here, into transform, and into scale, and let's just change that scale to 0 and 0 like so to make them small. And now as I run the playback head, there those assets zip up like so. Let's just do one more little one. Let's make the video fade in. So we'll choose that element there that had the video in it. We'll go to 2 seconds. Let's do something a little bit different. Add in another keyframe. Come back to 0. And I want to make the video to sort of fade in. That's opacity. You often get lots of properties in a property inspector. It's a very rich environment to work for a poor designer like me. It's really nice when you want to do something like that. It's just like type in OPA, and it pops up opacity. Yeah, that's a big help for me. That really is a big help for me. So let's take the opacity and put it down to 0 like so. And now, as that runs forward like that, the opacity builds up. And you get the general idea of doing the animation and how it works. Here's one I prepared earlier. So this is basically the final thing running. So let's choose my intro timeline down the bottom here. There it is, and play it. And that's what the final thing looks like. OK. So that's my design work done inside Blend, my sort of interactive animation design work. What do I need to do now? Well, I can just simply deploy this to the web. That's it. You know, my job is done to create the piece I first showed you. But it would be a shame, having done all that work, not to reuse it again, wouldn't it? So what I can do is I can take this project from Blend and put it into the configuration folder of Media Encoder. So if we come back to Media Encoder, here, I can take this video now, and instead of using the clean one, I can use the MIX07 one that I just created and encode that, and now anyone on my team can use this little project I've created and deploy video as they want to do so. So it really is a full circle back now to Media Encoder and using the stuff I've been working with. But we don't always want to do these full screen things. Sometimes you just want to drop a little bit of richness onto an existing web page somewhere. So let me also show you, can I do this? Sure. He said I can. Let's also show you a little bit of Web 2. So in Web 2 here, what I did was a couple of days ago, I just took a little drop of the Mix site as it was there. And as you can see, Mix sold out. We know it's sold out. That's why you're all standing at the back. So using this existing site here, what if I wanted to drop that video onto this Mix page? Well, all I need to do there is let's come into the sort of page here, and let's get rid of that background image that's there. So let's just delete that. And what I'm going to do here is come across to my Ajax extensions, pick up my Silverlight Media ASP.NET control, drag it onto the page, and again, I can choose the URL for the video, and hey presto, there's my MIX07 skin again. So I can repurpose it now onto the web, and basically, let's just go back to the browser quickly. Here it is now. That same video assets deployed it into the middle of my web page using the ASP.NET Control and Expression Web. So just to recap there, what we've actually shown you is video prepared in Media Encoder, design work in Expression Design, assembly in Blend, and then reusing that skin back in Media Encoder and deploying it to the web using Expression Web 2. That's what we've shown you. This has all been running on Windows. Thank you, yes. I think we also might have mentioned 1 or 2 times before that this runs on the Mac. So let's just check if that project that I did in Blend actually runs on the Mac. And there's exactly the same project that I was done working on Blend. So hopefully this little sort of section here has shown you how Expression Studio gives you all the pieces in the puzzle for designing with Silverlight. It's a great all-round experience. And talking of Silverlight puzzles, let me just finish. Here's my Silverlight puzzle now, coming up on the screen. My same video running as my Silverlight puzzle. What, you think I've just drawn the pieces on top of the video running? No. Let's just let's hit the scramble button. So there we are. There's my Silverlight video. I'll just put it all back together again. I'll leave you to clear that up, Scott.
Thanks. Thanks, Wayne.